Good afternoon guys and welcome back to the channel, and I'm in Barnsley, Silkstone Common, and I'm currently with Wet Dog, and we're at the we're at the Worsbrough Incline, which also known as the Worsbrough Colliery branch that ran between here at Silkstone, West Silkstone Junction down towards Oldham Junction down in Woolwell. In today's video, we're going to be exploring the West Silkstone Junction on the Worsbrough Incline. Great Central Railway's Worsbrough branch was a goods-only branch running from West Silkstone Junction on the Penistone to Barnsley line to Woolwell main junction on the South Yorkshire Railway. A number of coal mines were served along the route, but principally it was a bypass route to relieve congestion at Barnsley, and there were no intermediate stations. The line was an engineering nightmare. There were two tunnels, Silkstone Tunnel number 1, 289 yards, and Silkstone Tunnel number 2 at 74 yards. If we take a look at railmaponline.com, the line started at West Silkstone Junction, just arrowed there. The line opened in 1880 after the South Yorkshire Railway had joined the Manchester, Sheffield and Lincolnshire Railway. The line was extended not far from its terminus, but from a short junction before it was reached. In this series, we're going to be covering the full 7-mile line between the West Silkstone Junction and Woolwell. You can just see where the line branches off the Penistone line, which is where we're going to start our venture today. We'll then make our way eastbound down the line through these trees, under Blacker Green Bridge, Nabs Lane, and just past the Husker Memorial Pit. Anyway, we'll see you soon. So just behind all the vegetation, just over here, you can see the Penistone line that runs down towards Barnsley and that way towards Penistone. So we're going to have a look and see what relics we can find. Now, just had a little wander around the area of the junction. You can see a lot of old relics. Now, the line did close in the 1980s, I think 1981. So just looking around, you can see plenty of relics. So I'm going to show you what's still around. Now, I'm going to try my best to pinpoint what's what. So if you guys can let me know in the comments what you think there might be, please let me know. So just here, we've got a tension pulley for the fences. And just down here, you can see the remains of, looks to me like one of the overhead posts, because obviously the line was had electric cables that went over, so I think this is one of them, and it would have gone over towards the other side of the line. So I've just been told this is a pulley support, which is embedded down here. There might be a few more as we go along, but yeah, there's a few holes in it as well. You can just see there where the cables would have gone through. So I've just been told, I just found this relic down there. Now I've tried to pick it up, it's really heavy, but according to Wet Dog, it's a track chair, which they used to for the railways. And we just found a bolt nut here that would have been fun up for the fences. To see how rusty it is. Found a cable pulley for a signal post, I think. Yeah, you can see the bolts. So we flipped it back over, you can see it was a pulley, the cabling. Brilliant find. It's like I found a few relics here, like a fence post, an old railway sleeper, and it's like a concrete support for the cables, I think. Just all pushed to one side. Just found something else here, and it looks like a, what did you say it was? A ground?
I think it's a ground frame lever, could be wrong.
Right, yeah. Looks like some sort of lever anyway. If you know, leave a comment in the bottom. And then just here we found a little something else. Ow. Does anyone know what this is? There's another bolt pin just down here. You can just see embedded into this tree. But, I mean, if we have a look around here any longer, we're probably going to be literally here all day, because there's so many relics around the junction area. Found here a broken fish plate. You can just see it's snapped. You can just see as I flip it over. Nice little find there. So you've got a couple of bases here. That was part of the overhead electric wiring. They're absolutely massive. Proper stone bases. You can just see where the base is. It's overgrown with moss. Yeah, but there's two of them. Anyway, let's head on. We've just found this. Looks like a spring from the track. It's another brilliant find. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it looks like maybe a drain. Let's just have a little look in here now. It's made, it looks like, of red bricks. And it's like filled in just down there. All the bricks have fallen through, but there is something in there, like a piece of metal, like a metal pole. I wonder if it could have been a signal post or something, or if it was just a drain. So we're just literally in the middle of it's a small cutting, and just down here we're going to approach a bridge that we're going to show you, and it's got a little history behind it. Looking at this here, found something, and I think it might have been was it a ballast bin? Now just having a look at the other side, there is another one, so it could have been a power gantry. Now I think this is used to support the cables, just like the ones back there. Yeah, so I think they might have been. If you know anything, just leave a comment, but that's what I think they are. So I just found some coal here that looks like it's bounced out of the old steamer boxes, and what Johnny calls clinker is this little thing that I'm holding here. I think that's a Barnsley thing, isn't it, Johnny?
I think so, yeah.
So this is the way we've just headed back down, and I can see it's literally just veg. You won't believe 2 trains was running down here at one point up until the 1980s. Just found here another base for the overhead wiring. Now, just in front of me here, you can see there's a bridge, and it was on Blacker Green Lane. Now, there's a history behind this. That something happened in 1992, I think. But I'm going to get back to that later on before we head down the line, so I'm going to come back to it. But there's a nice stone bridge up here. Look at that. So I'm just going to give you a little information about this bridge. So you might remember a murderer that was around in 1992 named Michael Sams. To cut a long story short, Michael Sams selected a man named Kevin Watts to act as a courier for the handing over of 175 grand, in which he demanded for the release of his kidnapped victim Stephanie Slater. He went to Glossop in Derbyshire and then headed towards Barnsley and Sheffield in South Yorkshire. He eventually drove up to this location on Blacker Green Lane. He drove along a narrow bridle track, and he came across a traffic cone and several signs staked in the ground and bearing the words Shipways. Attached to the cone was a note telling him to put the money in a cloth bag and leave it on a tray on a low wall nearby. Little did he know that this low wall was a 60-foot drop. He eventually fled the scene on a moped, losing some of the money as he headed down the line. So you can see the bridge. It's got a nice stone masonry. It's absolutely fantastic. 3 arches. It's called Blacker Green Bridge. It just runs over the old line and the Penistone line. Anyway, so let's head on down the line now. You'll have probably seen in a previous video, I covered the Silkstone Common tunnels number 1 and 2. Now, they're down this way, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to skip those out. And if you've not seen them videos yet, or that video, I'll leave a link in the description below. And please give that one a watch. So we focus more specifically on the actual tunnels. So literally just vegetation that covers the old trap bed. Now it is walkable, but it's just literally overgrown. And say it was only closed in the 1980s. We've got a lot of veg and trees that have grown over the line. So just down here would we be heading towards Silkstone Common tunnel number 1. And then slightly beyond would have been Silkstone Common tunnel number 2. So we've headed off the trap bed, and then down here would have been Silkstone tunnel number 1. And like I say, there's a clear up of the whole of the tunnel section in that other video, so please check it out. So we're going to skip this bit, and I'm going to head down beyond Silkstone Common number 2 and see what's there. So we've just got a sign here saying danger, keep out, because there's an unstable cut-in which blocks both the tunnels, which will be just down there. So you've got Silkstone Common tunnel number 1, which will have been down this way, and then Silkstone Common 2, which was just slightly further down. So like I mentioned before in the Silkstone Common videos, there's the infilled section of the tunnel portal of Silkstone tunnel number 1, and then you've got the cutting just between where they when it goes into the smaller tunnel, which is just down there. So just looking down there, all that veg, that's where the tunnel portal's buried. So I'm at Nabs Lane crossing. Now the tunnel, Silkstone tunnel number 2 would have passed underneath here, and you've got the portal just down here in this little cut-in. So we're going to walk down here and see what we can find. So you've got this sign here telling you about the tunnels, so people that are walking, obviously because it's been converted into a walkway, how to avoid the tunnels. So the Silkstone tunnel number 2 is just down there. You can't really see the portal because of all the vegetation. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head down here and see what we can find. We've got a little bit of history here about the Silkstone tunnels, a few things that are around. So you've got the Husker Pit Monument, which I'm going to do on a separate video at some point, giving you a little history on something that happened just down there somewhere, but I'll get to that. Sculpture on the trail, and then just a little bit of history. And I think they've got the Thurgoland tunnels, which is on a different line. So we're going to head down here and see what we can find. It's got just another little support here for the old cable posts. So we just noticed these fake signal posts that are up on these trees. There was one here, there's also one back there. You can just make out in the distance, just on that tree. Now I've just been told that just somewhere around here was Moorends Pit. So here we've got this little memorial, and it looks like a, let's just zoom out, a miner's memorial. You can just see the little miner there with his spade. It says here 1989, or is it 1789? Just confirm that one. just found a little pedestrian tunnel just underneath the old track bed, so we're just going to walk down these stairs, just have a little look at this tunnel. It's a nice little find here, nice little pedestrian tunnel just underneath the railway bridge, the railway track bed. Nice little stone masonry. Just have a little walk in. Nice little arch there. You can see it's the same kind of structure as the Silkstone tunnels and that bridge that we encountered with Michael Sams. And it's like they've salvaged the railway sleepers to make these stairs. Actually, you can just see here the holes where they've made these steps out of the old sleepers. You can see there. It's fantastic. So we've got this like little farmer's access bridge here. Look at that. Now you can just see the original structure goes to there. So in the 1850s, when the original bridge was built, it was only built up to a certain height. And if you just have a look, you can just see a few bricks that they have built on top of the original bridge. Now what that was, in the 1950s, when they electrified the line, they had to high the bridge up, so that would have been part of the extension to lift the bridge up a lot higher. You can just see these steel supports just above. Look at them. And it looks like the bricks are blue brick. We've got an old insulator just up there, which is full of cobwebs. You can just see all these old wall brackets. Now you could just see the incline. As we look back at where we've just walked down, you can see how the track goes higher. It was about a 1 in 40 gradient. This steam engine was the LNER Class U1. It was a solitary Garrett locomotive designed for banking coal trains over the Worsbrough bank. So I'm going to conclude this part of this series right here. So this will be the Worsbrough Incline Part 1, just at this bridge here. Our next venture will be further down towards Gilroyd, where we'll continue the venture along this incline. So take care for now, guys. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.